Hey, Steve Mignani here doing the junkyard crawl at Bernardstown Auto Wrecking in Bernardstown, Massachusetts with a 1957 Dodge step-side pickup truck. Now, you got to remember that 1957 was the big year that Chrysler styling really embraced the forward look, which was, of course, Virgil Exner's design language, where fins and forward sweeps were the rule. Well, the pickup trucks got a little taste of that too. While the cab was first introduced in 1955 with its wraparound windshield, Dodge called it the Pilot House Cab. For 1957 and 57 only, the facelift of the frumpy Dodge truck was done with a bolt-on cap. We'll see right here, the headlights have a Frenched brow, and again, 1 year only, a very sinister look. But again, if we look at this 1957 Chrysler, we'll see Virgil Exner's work right there with the headlights very deeply browed. And here it is right here on the truck. So the stylists work from the very bottom all the way to the top to incorporate Virgil Exner's forward look styling. Now the crazy thing is, this truly is a facelift because these are basically the same fenders used in 1956, which would have been a round exposed headlight like a frog's eye. And basically by slicing and using the same stamping, but adding this cap, the facelift was made complete. And again, a 1 year deal, 1958 saw 4 headlights, a whole different design up front. So when you see this sort of Batmobile looking face on a Dodge truck from the 50s, it's a 57 and a 57 alone. Now this one here does have the 6-cylinder engine, which is the 230 cubic inch engine. But in 57, Dodge had the second largest standard V8, a 315 in pickup truck land. Meanwhile, Chevy had a 283, Ford had a 292, Studebaker had a 259. Only GMC had a larger standard V8 in their pickups, the 347 Pontiac engine. But again, the 315 could have been right here in this spot, but not this time. This is the flathead, 230 cubic inch engine, used in Dodge pickups through 1961. 62, the slant 6 would replace it. 1-barrel carburetor, there it is right there. Accessory oil filter. And we can see the spark plug wires right here on top of the head. This is the flathead nomenclature and layout right here where the plug wires and the plugs are going right down on top of the chambers. Not a very efficient breather, but again, for efficiency and fuel efficiency and just basically long life with minimal parts to wear out. There's no rocker arms, no push rods, no rocker shafts. Basically, the flathead is a stone axe design that worked for many years for Chrysler and many other car makers. But again, the wraparound windshield was a new advance in 55. Again, Chrysler called this the Pilot House Cab. Another detail for 57, by the way, was a new hood. In 56 and before, Dodge pickup truck hoods open like a butterfly. Here, for 57, they actually get the forward opening hood, the clamshell type hood, which could actually go to 90 degrees. We can see here the hinge remaining here. And this again is new for 57, the hood that lifts from the front, making the engine bay far more accessible than the previous clamshells with the fixed ridge between them in 56 back. Now this is, of course, a 2-wheel drive, or it was, body on frame, of course, like most pickup trucks were at the time. And it's meet around, Shane, you go on inside here and we'll explore the interior of this 57 Dodge step-side pickup truck. Now this one here, of course, is a manual transmission. There's the clutch pedal right there, the brake pedal going through the floor. And again, this stuff would be seen through 1961. 62, they finally went to suspended pedals. This is a 3-speed manual. Here's the linkage here up on the column. And here's the Dodge logo here. This sort of, it's not a fratzog, but it's sort of a lightning bolt and a delta, the forward look iconography. Speedometer goes to 110 with a 315 V8. Yeah, maybe. And I like how the dash is designed for left or right-hand drive, European market, foreign market, or American. Glove box is in the middle. And what's in the box? Let's take a peek. And mice? No. Owner's manual? Of course not. A lot of nothing. Okay, but again, the glove compartment's located in the middle to accommodate a left or right-hand steering setup. And this little bar right here, kind of an interesting device. It's frozen now, but this is the operating handle for the air grabber. What? Well, 1970 and 71, we all, of course, know that the Roadrunner and certain Chargers could be having an air grabber. But here, on the cowl of this pickup truck, this vent panel right here opens or closes in response to the movement of this handle. And it's an air grabber for the occupants of the cab. Actually, that's how you get cool air inside. Again, this has a Mopar heater underneath, but again, the 3-speed manual, pretty basic truck. Let's go to the back of this one, and here is the step side. Now, you gotta remember, of course, vast majority of pickup trucks were step sides. There was nothing else. The bolt-on fender, until 55, midway through that year, when Chevrolet introduced the Cameo Carrier, which was the first smooth side pickup truck in the business. Now, the crazy thing about the Chevy Cameo Carrier, 55 through 58, was it basically was a regular box bed with a fiberglass outer panel bolted on. Well, for 57, Dodge finally got hip. And here is Collectible Automobile, October 22. Not too long ago, this issue came out. Great magazine, by the way. But inside of this, we'll see the Chevy Cameo Carrier type vehicle right there. And that was the vehicle that that's a GMC version, but those quarter panels are fiberglass. But Dodge got hip in 57 with the swept side, and there it is right there. Now, if you look at that, the rear quarter panels with the fins and stuff are actually from the Dodge station wagon lineup. They sliced them, diced them, and then added them. They're steel, not fiberglass like on a Cameo, but the bed itself is still the narrow box used on the step side. So interesting to see, but 57, halfway into 57 is when Dodge finally entered the step side, or the fleet side, or smooth side era with this thing right here. But again, the vast majority were step sides like this one right here. And again, that's at 57 only, Batman grille right there on a beautifully restored truck. And getting back to this bed, we can see this one here, the bolt-on fenders. This one's a long, it's an 8-footer. It's an extended bed, 6 foot with standard. Get either one if you want. Let's walk around to the back here. And these had wooden floors. At this point in time, here are the iron strips right here. Between these strips would have been wooden planks. And the thing with the wood is that it was cheaper to make, but more prone to rotting and evaporating like this one has over time. And here's the magic of the step side. Here's that fender sitting right here. And here is the Dodge rear suspension. This one here, of course, leaf springs at the back with an add-on helper. This thing right here would have been an aftermarket piece, not factory, I don't think. It looks a little bit too add-on, but with that said, these are secondary springs that come into play when you have more than 800 pounds. These things take up the load and prevent the thing from sagging further. The rear axle on this, full floating axle shafts, which are kind of problematic. Trouble with these things, to get the brake drum off, you got to deal with that cotter pin, that nut, and a pulling tool. Half the time these threads are rotten and not very much fun to work on. This would go away after, I think, 1964 on Dodge trucks, but it was kind of a classic problem. But here we have the long frame here, 8-foot bed, optional on this. The 6-footer would have been standard. And here is the bed sort of floating in space right here. Let's take a peek at the drive shaft if we can. Yeah. Okay, and there's the drive shaft right there. Apparently it's been removed for some purpose. But the same cab, by the way, was used on Dodge trucks all the way up to 5-tonners, and little different floors in those. But this is the story of how Dodge went into the forward look, including the sort of the forward look blade effect right there. That's where that would have been right there on the fender. You can see the ghost of it. So the forward look, not just for passenger cars in 1957, also seen on Dodge pickup trucks. Now, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Maggs YouTube channel. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to hit the bell, ring the bell, so you're aware of the next Junkyard Crawl video, which is tomorrow morning.